Welcome back to Actors Turn Directors on eliciting the best performance from an actor. I'm reading the Leonard Nimoiy interview, part 4 from my DGA sponsored book, Actors Turn Directors, which is available on Amazon as a Kindle ebook. The purpose of these interviews were to educate me on the important process of filmmaking, which is the actor-director relationship. I hope you find this information of value. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to pick up where I left off, and we're going to discuss casting wisdom as presented by the late, incredibly talented Leonard Nimoy. Question: how does the casting process begin for you? How do you hire casting directors? What do you expect from them? And do you visualize the actors as you read your script? Leonard: to some extent, you can visualize. I'm not always successful at it. What I expect from the casting director is an intelligent and sensitive list of actors or actresses who might be correct for the roles and the money we have to pay for them. I really respect casting directors who have a good feeling for the talent pool out there and some sensibility for what the roles call for. In casting the leads, it gets very complicated because there are so many issues at stake, not just the quality of the performance and the correctness for the role, but different people's vision for the role, the economics involved. Will this person get this movie made? Will this person get this movie opened as well as give us a wonderful performance? And then you are presented with, how about this or that person? But gee, that wasn't the way I saw the picture. So I say, wait a minute, am I being closed minded here? Let's go back and sit down and think about what this picture would be with that person in this role and see if maybe there's another way to approach the telling of this story. Question: can you cite any specific examples of casting someone you hadn't thought about before and the casting turned out better than you had originally conceived? Leonard: well, I had seen Patricia Arquette in a film that Diane Keaton directed. It was a wonderfully touching, powerful, and emotional performance, but nothing like the girl that we needed for Holy Matrimony. But then my wife and I went to see a screening of True Romance, and there was this other Patricia Arquette. We both turned to each other and said, that's the girl, and immediately started the pursuit. I find it amazing what you can do with an actor just by changing their looks, the way they dress, their attitudes. One always has to stay open minded. Sometimes an actor who you may not have thought of at all knows what you're looking for and will come in dressed for the part and using the specific accent required by the character. The actor does a screen test for you, and you are in for a major surprise. A classic example, of course, is Marlon Brando in The Godfather. Question: when you cast newcomers, what sort of quality do you look for? What do you look for in their reels? Will you hire actors you have never seen on film? Do you give them a screen test? If so, what do you look for in a screen test? Tell me, for example, about the 12-year-old kid in holy matrimony. Leonard, he was just so wonderful. We tested a bunch of kids for holy matrimony, and everybody agreed that there was such honesty and intelligence in him. I will test if the actor has nothing on tape or film. What I try to look for in a screen test is a sense of honesty. That's what I looked for in this kid, and he had it. In his case, it wasn't so much a question of a look, it was more a question of an emotional center, a performance. Question: what about Liam Neeson in The Good Mother? Leonard, I met Liam when I was in Toronto making Three Men and a Baby. He was working on a film called Suspect, but he was playing a mute. He had no dialogue. I saw a little bit of that, and I saw him in small pieces of other work. He came in several times, and finally to tape some scenes with Diane Keaton. We put the camera on Liam, and I was very excited about it. I thought he brought a lot of interesting elements to the character, an honesty, a kind of integrity. He was a solid, interesting guy. I was very concerned about the guy not being devious in any way, be not undesirable in any way, because it was important that Diane's character would not allow some devious, sneaky, scary guy to be alone with her daughter. We had to trust him as she had come to trust him, and we had to understand why she trusted him. That was important to us. Question: did you consider others for this role? Leonard: it wasn't so much a question of who was considered. There were a number of people we would have gladly had in the role if they would have accepted it. There were a number of actors who rejected that role because they didn't want to be the person who had abused a small girl. There were a couple of very good actors who said, I simply can't play this guy. And you tell them, well, look, he's a character. You are playing a character here. And the guy is protected by the script in a lot of ways. The script, in fact, explains what his reasoning was. It was a well reasoned, well thought out, and very, very sensitive script. And yet, these actors rejected the role. Question: I thought Diane Keaton gave a textured, award winning performance. How did you work with her to develop this? Leonard: we had a lot of conversations before we started shooting the picture. We had a lot of opportunities to work out scenes together. We got to know each other and trust each other. She trusted that I had a sympathetic understanding of what this character was going through and what she was experiencing and who she was. In general, I think everybody in the cast had a really good sense of who they were and what they represented, and that was important. Question: tell me about casting her. Leonard: we went through lists, and there were some actresses that were considered who quickly removed themselves because they too were concerned about whether or not they were playing a heroic character. That's not what this movie was about. Thematically, this movie was about our society's difficulty in accepting sexuality and motherhood in the same person. It's the old Madonna whore question. The mother is Madonna and cannot be sexual. To perceive mothers as sexual is too difficult in our society. So when this woman, who is a great mother, is revealed to have had a sexual life, she's punished by society. That's what this movie is about. It's not about happy endings. It's not about what should she have done. It's not about whether she would rise to the occasion, stand up in court, tell them all to go to hell, and run away with her child. The movie is not about winning. It's a study in integrity. But some of the actresses I interviewed felt it should be done the other way. There should be a final act where she rises to the occasion and has everybody on their feet cheering for her. That's not the character we were portraying. That's not the way it was in the book. That's not the movie we set out to make. But Diane Keaton saw the integrity in the character and was willing to do it. I had meetings with Diane to discuss the role with her before we determined that this was a deal. I mean, she had to find out if she was comfortable, and I had to find out if I was comfortable. She did not audition for the role. I felt very comfortable with her intelligent fix on what the film was all about, and I was delighted that she wanted to do it. I think she's a very talented, bright, courageous lady. Additionally, she agreed to come in and read with various actors, which was very helpful and not something that many actors would do. She felt it was important for her to have a sense of where this was all going. Question: what is involved in recognizing talent? Is it a gift as a director, or is it luck, or is it a combination of things? How do you know whether this is the right person, whether this person will be a star? Leonard: I am not sure that anybody can accurately predict it. I think some people claim that they can sit in a room and say, this person is going to be a star, this person will be brilliant in the role. I think there are certain ways to qualify and quantify the nature of a person's craftsmanship, their training, their ability to portray certain qualities within a scene, their sense of rhythm, their sense of timing, their sense of pace, their sense or degree of sensitivity to what a character is experiencing. Those things are craftsmanship and a combination of craftsmanship and talent. But I don't think you can predict that one actor is going to become a star and another is not. Question: what's your approach to reading actors? As an actor, how did you feel about it? Leonard: I understand the concern about that. I've been there and I have felt abused by that process. There are times when an actor reaches a point in his or her career where he or she says, I shouldn't have to read for this role. I've done enough work. Take a look at my work. You can take that position if you want to. You are entitled to it. Nobody can put a gun to your head and make you come in and read for a role. My agent might say, look, they're reading actors for this role. If you like to read for this role, you'll have a chance of getting it. If you don't read for this role, you will not be considered for it. You make a decision. You say, okay, I'll throw my ego and my fears aside. If I really believe that the only way to get this role is to read for it, but if I feel that they are just reading actors for frivolous reasons, and I've been there, then I may say to my agent, please let him look at such and such work of mine. I think that might give them an indication whether I can play the role. In other cases, I have been cast against my own better judgment. I've had people say to me, you can do this. And I have said, no, I can't. I'm wrong for this. And taken the role and been successful in it. For example, playing Golda's husband, for example, in Golda. I know the actor's fears, the actor's insecurities, the painful process of putting yourself on trial and being judged is very difficult. But I also know that the actor sometimes cannot be the best judge of those things. This brings to a close part 4 of the Leonard Nimoiy interview. Actually, it's part 1 discussing casting with him, and part 2 of casting wisdom shared by him is coming up shortly, in which he shares some crucial casting wisdom, and I hope you will come back and tune into it. I hope you tune into this particular episode because he provides incredible information on casting. Thank you again for tuning in. And if you found the information valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. That would help me tremendously. Thank you very much.